In this video, you're going to learn how to maximize your Amazon Fire TV device's firepower with the very best tips and tricks you can find on the internet. And I will be demonstrating these for you on the brand new Amazon Fire Cube 3rd generation. This is the most powerful Fire TV device to date, and I will give you 5 reasons why now might be the best time to upgrade to the 3rd gen Fire Cube. Okay, the first few tips and tricks will help you increase the performance and overall speed of your Fire TV device. Now, whenever you need to access your settings quickly on your Fire TV, all you need to do is hold down the home button. That's this button here with a little house on it for a couple of seconds, and you'll see a menu pop up. And now all you need to do is click all the way to the end and you have your settings menu. That's 4 clicks. The reason why this is an important shortcut is because from the home screen, it takes 10 clicks. That's more than double. Thank me later. And if you happen to get the new Fire Cube or one of the new Fire devices, there is a settings button on the actual control. Anyway, remember the hold the home button shortcut to get to your settings, because we're going to be using it a lot throughout this video. Now remember this shortcut, as this is something you're going to want to use whenever an app on the Fire TV device becomes sluggish or unresponsive. Go to your settings, go to applications, go to manage installed apps. Find the app that's running slow and hit the rewind button. This clears that app's cache. Now you might be thinking, what is an app cache? Well, this is a bit of data that's stored on the FireStick or Fire Cube. This purpose is to actually speed up the app's performance, but sometimes this data can become corrupt or not usable anymore, and actually it can confuse the app and slow it down or stop it working completely. So remember this tip next time you need to troubleshoot an app that's not working properly. So using the exact same method that I just showed you, holding the home button down, going to settings, going to your applications, going to manage installed apps. So by clicking on the app that's causing a problem, you can now clear the cache, clear the data, and actually force stop that app. But let's say you don't know what app's causing the problem, and there's a bunch of them running in the background, but you don't know what apps are running in the background. Well, I have a solution for you. Come back to the home screen, go to the Find section, which is this magnifying glass you see here, search Background Apps and Process List. Now, this is actually an app, so download it. Once it's downloaded, hold the home button again to bring up the quick menu. This time go to apps, and you will see this new app in the list. It will just be called Background. Highlight it using your remote control. Once highlighted, push the button on your remote that has the 3 lines. This is sometimes referred to as the hamburger menu, and I am getting hungry now thinking about hamburgers, so let's move this along quickly. When you click the hamburger menu, you can now choose to move the background app to the front. I do recommend you do this because we are going to use this again in some of the other tips and tricks later on in this video, and it's also good to have ready to go if anything stops working. Now, once you boot this app up, you'll see across the top there's a bunch of options, but the one we want to focus on is close all apps. This is going to show you all of the apps that are actually running in the background. It's quite hard to figure this out manually, but this app does it for you. Now you can close all of those down one by one by clicking the app and going to force stop on each one of those. And now you can do a clean boot up of whatever app you want to use, knowing that nothing's going to be clashing with it in the background. Okay, tip number 3. Now listen, if what I just showed you is far too technical and you want a simpler, easier, and maybe even quicker solution, there is one. Check this out. Hold down the select button, that's the circle button inside the circular navigation keys, and the play button at the same time. Keep them held down until the Fire TV device reboots. This will start your device afresh, and this is probably the most useful troubleshooting tip of them all. It is kind of the classic IT support switch it off and switch it back on again solution, and it does work most of the time. Okay, so the Amazon Fire TV devices have been optimized by Amazon to be as efficient as possible, and the newer version like this, the Fire Cube, actually has an octa-core processor. It's the most powerful processor they've ever used in any of their Fire Sticks, so it's more powerful than ever. But if you've got some of the older devices, this tip could help you. And even on this device, this tip is useful. You can actually make the Fire TV device more efficient by stripping back some of the unnecessary tasks that run in the background on a regular basis. To do this, hold down the home button to bring up the quick settings menu, go to settings, go to preferences, go to privacy settings, and all of these settings on this page are not essential to your viewing experience. So you can turn these all off and it will not make a single bit of difference to you and how you use your Fire TV device. And this frees up some important data processing power, and also keeps your usage on the device a little more private. So that's kind of a win-win. But it's not really a win for Amazon because they like to have this data so they can try and sell you more stuff. But they already sold you the FireStick, so they kind of already won. Anyway, tip number 5. Okay, here's another privacy tip for you. And this is kind of a need to know thing, not something that you have to do straight away. So as you already know, hit the home button to bring up the quick settings. This time click on the apps menu and then go to Amazon Photos. Now, if you leave these two settings enabled, anyone can send photos or videos to your Fire TV, even guests. And this can cause problems for you, especially if you don't want them to. So I suggest maybe you might want to switch these off. Also, if you don't want anybody who sits down in front of your Fire TV device to have access to your Amazon Photos library, you should definitely turn off this option. Okay, this is another speed tip and it's kind of a convenient one. So wouldn't it be nice if your Amazon Fire TV remote could control your actual TV itself? And wouldn't it be nice if your TV remote could actually control the Fire Cube or Fire Stick? Well, if you're watching this on a fairly new TV, there's a good chance that your TV will support HDMI CEC. And the best way to find out if your TV or monitor supports this is to follow these steps. Go to the settings menu and go to equipment control this time. And if you've set this up already, there won't be an option here, but if you haven't done it, there will be an option to set it up and a tutorial that will walk you through it step by step. And I do recommend you do this because if one of your remotes gets lost down the side of the sofa, there's a good chance you'll still have a backup, plan B. But if you happen to lose both your remotes down the bottomless pit that is the back of the sofa, then there is a plan C. Now let's say you've lost both remotes or they're just out of reach and you cannot be bothered to lift a finger to get them. Well, there's good news and there's bad news for you. The good news is hopefully you still have your phone to hand. And if you do, you can install the Fire TV app on your phone. This will allow you to control everything just like the remote does. And it's even got shortcuts directly to the apps, more than the remote has built in. So that's an advantage. And another advantage here is you can actually bring up the on-screen keyboard on your phone so you can type things in on the Fire TV without having to click through the entire keyboard to go from letter to letter. So that's an advantage too. And we will revisit this app shortly because there's some other features which I want to show you guys. Anyway, that's the good news. The bad news is you will have to lift a finger to use the app. And check this out, there is a plan D. If finding the remotes and using your phone seems like too much work, you could invoke the AI. And this is kind of exclusive to the Fire Cube devices and people who have Amazon Echoes within range of the TV. But also, if you're willing to lift a finger, you could activate it using the button on the remote, but then you've got the remote and that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to explain. If you want to put in the minimum and get the maximum results, all you need to do is say the magic word and tell her to turn on your TV. And if you have HDMI CEC enabled and set up, it will turn on your TV at the same time. And you can even ask her to open up specific apps and adjust the volumes without having to lift a finger at all. And if you often feel really lazy, you could automate this entire process and take your lounging to the next level by creating the ultimate lazy day routine on your Amazon Alexa app. Here's how to do it. Open the Alexa app on your device, go to the More section in the bottom right corner, then go to Routines and hit the plus button. Now give the routine a name. Next, choose voice and specify what wake word you want to use to initiate this routine. Now add an action and choose Fire TV. Tap the option to power it on. Now your Fire TV will boot up and switch on your TV at the same time when you give the command. But let's add another step to this. Hit the plus icon again. This time we go to Fire TV again. And this time let's tell it what app we want it to open up on. And you can go so much deeper with this, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna keep it simple. But if you're feeling confident, you can add other stuff like changing the lighting in the room. If you have smart lights, you can change the heating and be as intricate as you want to be with the routine. And now there you go. All you need to do is summon your AI, give her the command, and everything is sorted. And you didn't have to lift a finger. Now you might have noticed when you boot up apps like Netflix, it auto plays trailers and audio of those trailers when you hover over certain videos.
We've just moved here, and already you're causing trouble. What have I been teaching you?
And this also happens on Prime and Disney and pretty much all of the streaming platforms. And this takes me nicely onto another speed hack. If you're willing to turn off the autoplay of the trailers and turn off the audio, you can actually free up some system resources. And this is going to be particularly useful if you have an older version of the FireStick. So to do this, go to settings. You already know how to do it. Hold the home button down, click across to the settings. This time go to preferences, and now we go to featured content and switch off both of these autoplay switches. Now you might be thinking, well, that's great. Now I can't see what I'm about to watch. I want to learn a bit more about what it is I'm looking at before I click play. Well, I have a solution for you. This is a hidden feature that not many people know, and you're either going to love it or hate it. And it does solve the problem that I just mentioned. So for me, I consider this a good to know tip. And here's how you activate it. When you're on your home screen and you're browsing content, if you hold down the fast forward and rewind button simultaneously, this will unlock the secret text banner functionality. This gives you a little bit more insight into whatever you're hovering over, and you can scroll through these little dialog boxes and it will tell you a bunch of information that could be useful. And you can actually make this disappear whenever you want to by holding the play button for 2 seconds. And you can summon it back onto the screen at any time by holding the play button for 2 seconds again. But if you don't like this and it's just annoying, you can switch it off by holding the fast forward and rewind button until it switches off, and that's it. I suggest you try it out and see if it works for you. So you might not know this, but your TV might be better than you think it is. And by default, the brand new FireCube sets the bit depth when it comes to colors to 8-bit. That's 8 billion colors. But your TV might be capable of 10 billion or even more. So I suggest you test this out and see what your TV is capable of. Go to the settings, you already know how to do it. Go to display. This time go to color depth, and here you'll see 10-bit and 12-bit. Test all of them out and see which one looks the most natural to you, and then stick with that one. Of course, if you can run 12-bit and it looks good, that's going to give you the most amount of colors possible from the FireCube. Okay, so here's another speed hack for you guys. This one is going to be very useful for you if you have very slow internet, or if you're watching content that doesn't need to be in 4K, let's say cartoons or something, or if you're hotspotting from your phone and you're abroad and you don't want to use up all your data. To do this, go to settings. Go to display and audio, go to display and go to video resolution. Here you can scale the resolution down to 720p, and this will improve your streaming speeds and reduce the data usage at the same time. But 720p isn't actually the lowest resolution the FireStick or FireCube is capable of. There's a little trick that allows you to turn it down even more. Here's how you can do it. Hold the up on the navigation circle and the rewind button simultaneously for 10 seconds. The Fire TV device will now cycle through the different resolutions, with the lowest resolution being 480p. It's not going to look great, but it's going to stream much faster and it's going to use way less data. It's kind of a last resort, but it does work, and it's a kind of hidden trick. So keep it secret, keep it safe. So at this point, if you want to learn more and go more in depth with the settings and menus and hidden features on the Fire TV devices, part 2 of this video is on screen right now. It was originally one long video, but it just felt a bit too long, so I cut it in 2. And if you don't see the thumbnail on screen, the top comment will have a link to part 2 in this series. And trust me, if you like this, you're definitely going to want to see that. So I'll see you in the next one. Don't be late.